friends of CBUS. Today we have a very special person, someone you guys who's on CBUS community would know quite well. Most of you probably have seen the slow dance and a lot of his music videos, his R&D over the years, and we've got to know him on Facebook. And what I really like about Tarin is he's always so encouraging. Every time you have a post, a new post, he would take time from his tight schedule, come over and give a like. And that means a lot to everyone who posts. So thank you, Tarin, for being so sweet. So let's start with you telling us something about what's the latest.
We're here in Los Angeles. It's beautiful weather.
Right.
Um, we recently finished up my brother's latest music video, Slow Dance, and it just actually came out a couple days ago, February 1st. It's great that it's getting all this traction and people are really enjoying it. And same with the music video. I've been getting such amazing response, yet it just came out a couple days ago. So
Julian and must be thrilled as well, right? He
yeah, we're all pretty excited. So everything
Yeah,
is just going really great.
that's so cool. And you said you're also recently finished the first season of Camarina Show. Can you tell us what Camarina Show is about?
Yeah, we started the Camarina show last year in LA. It's at our place, and it's a show where my brothers Julian and Adrian they chat with some local celebrities here in LA and other people in the entertainment industry.
Time. Let's see the actual slow dance and then we see your breakdown.
Okay, yeah. So I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna be going over my general workflow for creating a destruction shot. So I created the destruction using thinking particles.
I just wanna slow dance with you, capture every single moment, 'cause we never felt this good. I just wanna slow dance with you.
Tell us more about Camarina Productions and how it was birthed, your team members, your role, and what are some of the projects you folks have been managing?
Yeah, well, Camarina Productions is a family-owned full-service media production company. We do everything from concept art to cinematography and visual effects. The full-time team members right now are myself, my brothers Julian and Adrian, and our cousin Anthony. Julian is a talented singer, music producer, and VFX compositor. Adrian directs the talent and is also a screenwriter. And Anthony is a great experienced photographer and cinematographer. Also, the Cameron family is pretty large with several of our relatives being into creative fields themselves. So depending on the project, we might bring some of them on board as well as hiring the local talent in LA. For myself, as a small team, I often have to wear many hats, but my main role right now is to come up with both creative and technical solutions to creating high quality live action visual effects shots. We started Camina Productions about 8 years ago. My brother Julian's music started to grow a large audience online. So at the time we opened up a studio in Phoenix, Arizona, where we could shoot his music videos as well as promotional content for him and the brands that he works with. Some of the brands that he works with include Warner Brothers, Nickelodeon, Disney, Ford, and Apple. But our main focus has always been my brother's projects. But occasionally we would also work on projects for companies, shooting events, music videos, doing audio production, product visualizations, motion graphics, commercials, and films.
Okay, the part where you talk about Julian working with Warner Brothers and some of the big names, what were they? Were they like openings or whole show? What were they?
Yeah, also all sorts of things. I mean, a lot of promotional content, and they invite him to go to different places, and speak about things. And there's all sorts of videos and posts that I've created if you follow him on his social media. I'm also very active on Instagram, so people can follow me on Instagram, and I'm always posting different things, a lot of behind the scenes stuff. That's where the vast majority of my posts go
So
to.
you're gonna do everything. So everything like you be doing commercials. But are you focused mostly on music videos, or you doing a broad range of things from films to games
Uh,
to?
Our main focus has always been my brother's projects for his music videos and as well as the promotional content for him and then the brands that he works with. But we'll take on projects on the side, if they make sense.
Okay, okay, gotcha. So, any memorable people in the industry that you felt had opened doors to you or Julian or one of your other brothers when you first started that you like to give mention?
Well, the best thing about Thinking Particles is its online community. It has an excellent online community, and everyone is so supportive and helpful in answering questions. And I've really learned something from just about everyone. I feel very fortunate to have learned from all the amazing Thinking Particles VFX artists, many whom have worked on some of the biggest Hollywood VFX films. And it's really thanks to all the amazing VFX artists that have helped me along the way that I'm able to create the VFX that I can today. Alrighty, so I'm gonna play the sequence of shots that I'm gonna be going over, and all the destruction here is made with Thinking Particles. So this is a big ground destruction with it opening up in the
Right.
ballroom. You can see that's a digital double that I created of my brother Julian. So he's climbing up, trying not to get smashed by all this chaos, and then him running and sliding and barely missing getting hit by that falling statue.
More on the
Yeah.
digi double, is that something new for you?
I had created one for my brother in the past, so I already kind of got used to the workflow of how to do it, but I wanted to create something that was higher quality. So
Okay.
I actually got him scanned at a facility here in LA there was like 210 cameras. And then once I
Wow.
got the pictures, then I put them together myself and I rigged everything up and did the texture, all the cleanup work. And I've been really working on that lately to even add more functionality, blend morphs and all sorts of stuff. So we took like 50 different scans over there. So I have a lot of great information to work with.
So, what software do you use to kind of clean up the digi double?
Uh, I use a bunch of software. I mean, for the textures, I have to clean things up. I often just use like Photoshop just to clean up the textures. Um, but sometimes just have to do some manual sculpting as well. So I'll use like ZBrush or Mudbox to fix things up. And then I have to retopologize everything. So everything needs proper edge loops for deformation so you get nice animation. So everything has to be retopologized in a nice clean way. So you have the nice polygons and everything works good. You don't get some weird popping or something like that when you're doing animation. So it's quite a bit of work for sure. And you have to combine a lot of scans. So we took 50 scans of all the different facial expressions and everything. So it's definitely a big project.
Yeah, you're a multi-expert for multi-software. So did you start off with some formal training or some formal training and then you started adding software by yourself, self-taught?
I mean, I learned online, but I've learned from just like all the best VFX artists, from that are online in the community. I just message, I chat, I chat with them through like Thinking Particles Facebook page, Effective Technical Directors Forum, taking courses, but most of it, it's just me getting out there, watching a lot of tutorials, putting hours and hours into learning.
You didn't take no fine arts or 3D multimedia program in college.
No, in college I actually studied biology.
Oh, oh
Yeah, so
wow.
I got a biology degree in college, which
Wow.
is kind of interesting.
Yeah,
I mean,
you're
it
the
was kind of
second person. I think you're the third person with something related to biology and going into visual effects. There must be some relation between biology and visual effects. I don't know.
well, biology kind of helped to build my technical side because before then I was definitely a lot more creative. Like I've always been doing creative stuff, painting and drawing since like I was really young, but that kind of built up that technical side. And getting into biology, also after I graduated, I was able to get some projects with medical animations and stuff like that. So
Right.
it challenges your brain in a similar way with problem solving. Okay, so I'm going to go over my progress. So the first step would be to create concept artwork.
Right.
So right here, I'm just showing an example of a concept art sketch, and we do a lot of them with my brothers. All my brothers, they know how to draw and paint, so we're working on a bunch of sketches. So for this one, this is the ground destruction setup. So we're trying to determine how these big, large islands are going to move and rotate and the timing and everything, and really try to figure out how this effect is going to help drive and push the story forward. So I'll show some other sketches. There's another sketch like Julian right there with the
Right.
crack. So we do a lot of these sketches to kind of communicate with each other.
Okay.
And then there's another concept artwork piece. Well, my dad, he's a painter. He's very popular, world-renowned painter and illustrator. He's worked on all sorts of movies. So I picked up a lot of these artistic skills from a really young age, and same with my brother. So we've always been doing that. And all that stuff is like super helpful
Yes.
when creating VFX shots because you have this artistic knowledge that you can apply to these technical setups. So you can really combine the artistic and technical side together.
I think
So-
your work is so fun.
Oh, thank you. So now I'm going to show you the progress that we use for creating a destruction shot. So the first step would be pre-visualization. Now this is a shot that I had shown where the statue falls and crumbles. It's pretty chaotic. So I'm just using a generic character that's going to be replaced by the digital double for Julian. And I'm just trying to get the basic animation of everything. So I'm just manually animating the statue to fall down. So just the basic timing. And as you can see here, I need to leave enough room for Julian's character to slide under him. So the statue needs to fall relatively head first into the ground.
Okay.
And then the next step would be to create some VFX, the fun part. So right here, I'm using a base simulation of the statue. So this is just one solid object.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, I need to come up with a way where this solid object is going to collide head first into the ground. So what I did is I created this big ball and I animated it so it flies forward and just bonks in the back of the head. So that's why I'm using a dynamic solver. I'm using shape collision with actual gravity force. So there you can see bonk. And it lands relatively head first. So now it's the high res. So this is the actual statue that I'm using in the shot. And this statue is made up of a bunch of different fragments. It's pre-fractured using a plugin called Razor that you can find, an effective technical director's website.
Oh yeah,
and it's very useful.
the razor was from Eloy, right? Eloy Angeles.
It's
Okay.
from his website. So I have all these artistically driven cuts placed exactly where I want them. And these fractures, they're not going to interact at all with this ball. Instead, all that they're going to do is they're going to be attached to the base simulation and they're going to follow.
Right.
So they're going to follow all the way down to about a little bit further back, about right here. So at this point, then they're going to detach from the base simulation, and then gravity and dynamics are going to take over, and you're going to get collisions, and everything's going to just kind of spread apart. So now,
This part would be thinking particles getting in there.
yeah, so this is all thinking particles. And because I did manual fractures, see, I get a nice variation of bigger pieces and smaller pieces. I have the bigger torso right here, and then the head separated with some spilling out of little pieces right here. So this is like exactly what I was looking for, and Julian was pretty happy with it. It's his video. And then right here, this is going to show all the elements together, all the VFX elements. So you're going to see the main RBD simulation of the statue falling down, as well as debris coming from the cracks, and then an impact dust simulation. So boom. So that's all the VFX elements without textures, of course. And then the next step is scene assembly. So I bring all these VFX elements into one scene that's going to be used for the shot. So anything that shot needs, which in this case, it needs the ground destruction, the digital double, and the statue destruction. And here we can see if everything's all working. So you can see Julian slides perfectly underneath the statue. Everything's working exactly how we want it. Yeah, it's all CG using a combination of motion files that are blended together, as well as keyframe animation for minor tweaks and to get proper timing.
It's really well done. Look at that. I like the debris. It's so real.
Thank you. Yeah, so this is the actual shot angle right here from the music video. So the groundbreaking is very similar to the statue destruction. It's a bigger setup, of course, but a lot of things are very similar. Just a lot more to it. So I'm started off with the base simulation. See, I'm getting just a timing of these big, large islands different moving timing animation as well for the stunt double. Then I can run the high-res simulation. So it's a bunch of nested layer captures. It's quite a bit bigger than the statue destruction setup, but very similar. So now I guess I'll show you the thinking particle setup. So let's see. So I'm going to go over the statue destruction because the ground destruction would take all day to go over. But
I'm going to stop you here and ask you how many years or how many months did you take to self-teach thinking particles from the time you first discovered it to being able to do pro setups like this?
Basically, I mean, this is all I do all day, every day. I get up and I make VFX all day until I go to sleep, you know? so it's not so many, it's not all about how many years you put into it, but it's like the actual hours, you know, how many hours, which is a lot of hours. I've watched, honestly, just about everything that I could think of that's out there. And all the tutorials and courses that I know of, like, I pretty much have signed up or looked into them.
I mean, I must applaud your high self-motivation, your perseverance.
It takes the discipline, but I have that personality. Whenever I get into something, I'm just like super obsessed.
Yes,
so.
you have the personality that's meant for this kind of job. I think your skills are really, really good. I mean, it's at a level that you're basically problem solving and you can even be a technical director. I don't know. You have such good skills.
Yeah, it's all building those soft skills that like problem solving, you know, the software, you know, they're tools that you use to create a shot, your vision, but it's building those soft skills like problem solving. Then you can use any software. You can do anything. Thinking Particles is just, you know, it's a software that allows you to use your problem solving skills. And it's very well structured for creating, you know, procedural effects and gives you a nice blend of, you know, technicality with user friendliness and being able to really custom art direct your effects.
Yeah, thanks. That's true though. I agree.
Yeah, it's just all the art directions. It's knowing all these little setups, you know, and practicing and then just combining them to art direct the VFX how you want it to be, you know. But it's very useful to have the artistic knowledge and reference, you know, so you know how the VFX should look, you know, to help drive the story and make up a nice artistic composition, you know. Something that looks very appealing.
You are really good because you actually spend time going through all the different operators and helpers. It's almost like you are almost now a walking encyclopedia. This is the first time in my interview that I've seen someone who has used quite a lot of things together, and it's good because then people get to know them and not just, oh, there's only VB or, you know, there's only P-Search.
It's just building those problem solving skills and remembering the basic idea of how certain things are set up.
Okay.
So now I have all this simulation done, you know, so it's all ready to go. The next step would be scene assembly. So I need to bring in the simulation into the actual shot, the shot that has all the other elements. So I'm going to show you that. And this is the crazy shot. So now you can see here we have the destruction. We have this big CG interior, and I place the statue. The statue goes right here, and then you have Joan's little double right here. I'm going to come in a little closer so you can see easier.
Okay.
Pretty much everything that went into destruction had to be remeshed. So I had to find out a way to remesh. I use the VDB a lot for remeshing. Sometimes I had to kind of just manually make something, you know, especially for the columns, you know. If it wasn't too complicated, I would manually model it. So there's a lot of fixing up that goes into something like this. So yeah, it takes quite a bit of work.
This is your area, right? So all the CG, you were the one doing it. It must have taken you...
Yeah, I did all the CG aspect. I did all the VFX simulations.
Like many hours of...
assembly. Yeah, as well as coming up with the camera angles and stuff like that, you know, art directing the VFX.
So do you work from morning to night? I mean, when a project is going on, like when you're really focused on this and you're excited, do you like wake up early and do until, you know, quite late in the evening? Do you rest?
I mean, it all depends. You know, I have a hard time procrastinating. It's hard for me to put things off. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but whenever I have something, I just have to get it done like right away. Like
Yeah, that's
I
no,
just don't
that's a
like
good
things
attitude.
I don't like things to build up. So I'm always trying to get things done as quickly as possible. I mean, I do kind of balance out my day and I exercise and different things like that. So I keep mentally sane.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's good to know, and
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
good
And I
advice
mean,
too.
health is very important. You know, you need health for longevity. You know, I have a standing desk, so I'm not always sitting down all the time, and I'm always exercising every little while, or just put on some music and start dancing in front of my computer. Your work will be better than just kind of like just working all day nonstop and say, oh, I got to get this done. You got to balance yourself. Your work will look better, and you'll be healthier minded, and you'll be a better problem solver. Okay, so this is the scene assembly. So I'll show you from the actual shot angle. So this is the actual shot angle. So this shows all the destruction and chaos and stuff. And as you can see, there's a lot going on. There's all sorts of simulations, you know, digital double right here, the statue falling down, ground destruction. So I need to figure out a nice way to kind of put everything together. So I use a very useful workflow called deep compositing.
Okay.
And it's very helpful in combining thinking particle simulations with other simulations coming from other plugins within 3ds Max or even other software as well. So everything can just come to that. Everything can come together and be combined in a nice seamless way. So what I do is I render out deep EXR passes, and this gives me these big files that have all this extra data. So I know the exact positions of all the VFX elements. So as you can see here, this is in a compositing program. I have the ground destruction right here. You can see the interior, the ballroom, and then Julian's stunt double right there. And then here's the camera. So when everything's being seen through the camera, everything will be positioned in the correct place. So I'll show you the little comp right here. So here's like the deep comp right here and the 3D comp. So this is what I work on. I work on the 3D comp and then the deep comp part. And then my brother Julian will work on the 2D comp right here. So this is where he balances all the lighting and does any 2D effects, color correction, adding glow, anything like that.
Kind of complex, but I think you guys are so used to it.
This software is called New.
Oh, this is new. Oh yeah, this is okay. Okay, got it.
This is
Sorry.
it's kind of like the industry standard for compositing. But as you can see here, since I have a 3D representation of my entire scene, I can place VFX elements wherever. So, for example, I can place VFX elements on cards, which is like a 2D plane, or I can even place them as deep point clouds, so a 3D representation. It just depends on what I want. And it gives me a lot of control. And another very useful feature about the deep compositing is I can separate things. I can separate my VFX elements and run iterations and versions on them separately. So I can run different iterations of versions on anything that might require a lot of changes. So for example, the ground destruction, the digital stunt double will go through its own iterations and changes. Any secondaries such as debris and dust. And I made a lot of changes to this falling statue in the front. I went through a lot of iterations. And then once everything is done and finalized, it can all come together and be seamlessly combined in a nice way where everything just matches up. Any transparency, everything works just great once viewed through the camera. So show you my little comp real quick.
Yeah, I'm kind of flabbergasted. Like, how did you three bro did everything? It's almost like you're playing the entire role, including yourself, from being the Prevy artist, concept, storyboard, right, until post-production. That's amazing.
Yeah, and I mean it helps, working with the team. Like it makes a big difference working with them, and we all have a lot of the same knowledge. We share knowledge since we work together. We have shared knowledge of the whole production and post-production pipeline, and that really helps us to excel as a team. So this is my general workflow for VFX destruction shot.
So would you be able, like, let's say I'm just trying to figure out, so if you had a Marvel movie coming to you, would you able to, so you're generalist, so you basically can help from the Previ right until the post V.
Well, everybody has their strengths, and I built good generalist skills early on. So I learned the whole pipeline. I mean, I learned from, modeling, texturing, all that stuff. But of course, everybody's specialized in certain things, and the areas that I specialize in the most would be the compositing side and then the VFX side. And then, of course, the artistic knowledge, because I've been doing that since I was very little. So with painting and all that. And all that ties in with cinematography as well. I've shot all sorts of projects, different events and films and short films, and I've worked on commercials and all sorts of projects. So all that knowledge comes together.
And you got some of the best cameras. You got the RED camera, am I right?
Yeah, we have a couple RED cameras. We have all the high-end gear. All that stuff makes it really nice and compositing. So
No, your work is fun. Your work is definitely a lot of hard work, but a lot of fun too.
yeah, it's a lot of hard work, but fun. I mean, you have to enjoy what you're doing, to really get into it and become good at it, You have to like it.
That's so cool. Thank you so much. I think we learned so much from you.
For the music video, we created around 60 shots with visual effects and compositing. 47 of these shots made it into the final cut. You can see all sorts of the effects in the music video, from destruction, particle effects, digital doubles, green screen, full CG environments, and matte painting. All the large-scale destruction VFX simulations were made with thinking particles.
Thank you. Was there at any point in Slow Dance, when you were doing the Slow Dance music video, that, there was one scene that you're kind get agreed on what's the best way to do it, and how did you overcome that?
I mean, one thing that's good, I guess you could think of it as good, is that since we're family, we're very honest with each other, and kind of sometimes brutally honest. So you have to have thick skin, and we say things straight out. If we don't like something, we're going to say it right away. We don't want to waste time, because time is of the essence. We're a small team, and we have to work very fast to get things done. So my brother Julian, I mean, he knows VFX as well. He does a 2D compositing, but he actually started learning the 3D before I did. I've gotten more into it and learning and looking at tutorials, and he does, but he has a very good understanding of everything, and he's very good at problem solving. So he'll see something, if I'm having trouble on something, he'll be like, hey, maybe you could try this, So we're all working together, problem solving the shots.
When did you start with thinking particles, and how did you overcome the logic, which some people say it's kind of tough, but obviously not for you. So some tips here, please.
Yeah, well, I wanted to take my brother's music videos to the next level, and I remember seeing the movie 2012, and I was just blown away and impressed by all the large-scale destruction shots. I'm like, man, I gotta do something like that. So I started doing a bit of research on how it's all made, and I came across thinking particles, and I looked into it at first, but I wasn't sure if I wanted to dive into learning such a deep tool set. But soon after, I saw the trailer for Independence Day 2, and that came out, and I was just blown away by the work that Scanline VFX did, and I just had to learn it. There was just no way around it. You can create a really technical simulation, and then make that technical simulation that's looks perfect. Perfect dynamics look terrible because it doesn't have the right lighting and composition. Well, for the thinking particles, I've been using it for 4 years, but I mean, I've been learning 3D for almost 10 years now. Yeah, I mean, before using 3ds Max, I was using Maya and Cinema 4D. So I kind of transitioned from Cinema 4D to Maya to 3ds Max, and then I'm learning other software all the time. So it's a lot of hours. It is a lot of time. It's really just a lot of time put into it.
So what are some of the features in thinking particles that you feel are unbeatable?
Well, I think Thinking Particles is overall excellent VFX tool. I really like it for the large-scale rigid body dynamic simulations. I love shape collision dynamics. They're very predictable and forgiving. I can test settings on a smaller scene until I get the dynamics that I want. With fast iterations, then I can apply it directly to a larger scene and get predictable, similar results. And also the overall workflow of Thinking Particles is very well structured for large-scale destruction. I can create a base simulation to get those specific art-directable results, cache it out to disk, then up-res certain objects, progressively layering simulation caches to get more detail only where needed. And I also like bullet. The bullet physics dynamics are very useful for the smaller scale simulations, for simulating large debris. Whenever you want to simulate a lot of something, but you need more precise collisions than like the flow solver. And I really like the flow solver too. The flow solver is excellent for simulating those thousands of small debris, and it's very well multi-threaded. So the combination of those three really helps a lot. And I think Thinking Particles overall gives you a nice blend of technical flexibility combined with an artistic friendly approach without having to necessarily dive deep into expressions and coding. So it's a really nice blend.
Thank you.
We are already in pre-production for our next music video, and our goal for it is we really want to create more artistic, visually entertaining projects, capitalizing on our main strength, which is the creative knowledge that we have, creative artistic knowledge. And then we're also going to be starting up a new season of the Camarina Show, and also looking forward to working on a number of high quality live action VFX projects for clients. And we've been getting really good response from our VFX breakdown videos for Slow Dance, and the music video itself is gaining a lot of traction. And we're very thankful to all the people and social media pages that I've shared it. It's helped so much. Like you were saying, the VFX breakdown videos have already accumulated over 1 million views across all the social media pages. It's been shared by countless pages. And it's great that they come up to me and they appreciate the work and like, hey, we would love to share it. And I've had film festivals reaching out to us, so all sorts of stuff. It's really nice. And we've been getting a lot of interest in using our VFX services. So we are pretty excited for the future. Yeah. Well, I'm very excited to be working on more projects with my team. They're a great team, the four of us. It would be great to expand our team with other talented individuals that can help strengthen our team, as well as collaborating with other companies. We're constantly pushing the envelope when it comes to VFX for music videos and feature films and other projects. And in terms of balancing life and work, well, work is my life, and I really enjoy working with my family.
Yes, I can see you.
We're always looking for other team members to come on board. We're always looking for talented individuals. Teamwork is very important, and it's finding the right individuals that can help strengthen our team. We're a small team. There's 4 of us that are doing this full time, but we're a strong team, and we have excellent communication skills and the shared knowledge that helps us to, create these bigger projects with a smaller team.
So thank you so much, Tarin, for being here today.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me. I'm glad to be here. Yeah, it's good that I finally can be here and talk
Yes,
about my work.
I think we should do it more often. I like your
Yeah,
enthusiasm.
definitely.
It's infectious and it's positively infectious, and I really enjoy your enthusiasm, your motivation, the power of it. So thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you.
We might have drank just a little too much to be feeling so damn much. But right now, this is where we're supposed to be. Dancing to this song we've heard, but we don't know any of the words. And it's slowly becoming our favorite song. Even though we've got nothing figured out, we feel we know who we are. And right now the world outside just seems so small. I just wanna slow dance with you, capture every single moment, 'cause we've never felt this good. I just wanna slow dance with you. Capture every single moment, 'cause we've never felt this good. I just wanna slow dance with you.